every time. You get my laugh. Hi, it's Mary Bartos, Bartos Group of Premier Plus Realty. And today I have my distinguished guest is Elizabeth Hayes Hoffman. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, Mary.
And Elizabeth is a licensed real estate agent on the Bartos Group, or with the Bartos Group. And one of the topics that we're going to talk about today is she is a native Canadian and has lived in Germany, which both are markets where people buy in our area. But before we get into that, Elizabeth, I have to ask you, what's your best really Mary?
Okay, let's see. Really, Mary?
I love it. I love it. So Elizabeth, tell everybody a little bit about, where you're from and a little of your history about, living in Germany and what that's like.
Sure. So thank you very much for having me here, Mary. I'm really excited. And so a bit about myself. I grew up in Toronto, Ontario. So people that are from Toronto, I grew up in Spadina and Davenport area. And I lived there until the end of high school. Then I went off to university in Ontario as well. I went to Queen's School of Business. And then after that, or actually during my time there, I started spending time in Germany. And after I graduated, I moved there full time. And who I was then dating is now my husband, and he's German. And so I was in Berlin for about 4 years, and then decided to make the move over to Florida. I'm an American citizen. My mom's from Columbus, Ohio. So and I love Florida.
Which Southwest Florida is a great melting pot for folks that are from Canada as well as Germany. Talk a little bit about that and, maybe why you think that is. Is it our culture? Obviously our weather?
Yeah. So the first, as far as I'm aware, the last time I checked the stats, the biggest group of international people coming to Florida were Canadians, followed by Germans. And I think, when you look at the Florida lifestyle and what Florida has to offer, it really makes sense that Florida is the place that people want to come. There are a number of factors that you take into consideration, but when I decided to move to Florida, I was in a situation where I'd been coming to Florida all my life. And you know what? I just said, great weather, great lifestyle, decent cost of living, and just what you can have and how you can live. You are living where you vacation. There's a lot to be said for that. And I think, what really attracts people to Florida, first of all, the weather. So, I was under this perception that like summer would be unbearable. Like it's so hot, like, oh my goodness. Actually, okay, I'm from Toronto and I really love summer here. I don't find it too hot. I find it great. It does get a bit warm, but I way prefer that to being really cold.
Right. And we do have the sea breezes, right? The ocean breezes that are lovely. It is humid, though, a little bit more than some other places. But, how's Toronto? Coming from Chicago, there were some really nasty days in Chicago that we don't have here. And we just have it a little longer. Would you feel the same?
Yeah. So, winter can be quite long in Toronto. Our summer is shorter than their winter. So keeping that in perspective, but also, okay, I'm somebody that I'm working full time, obviously, but okay, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock comes around. I'm going to go play a round of tennis in the evening and it's a great temperature. It's fine. During the day, just drink water. I think it's a lot easier to be outside in the heat than it is in that cold. So
I'm with you 1,000%. Now, it's interesting that, the past statistics have said about 11% of our buyers were international. And of that, like you said, Canadians are the first, followed by, Germans in the second. We just have a really nice population of people, international folks, but mostly from those two areas. Would you agree?
Yeah, we do. And we definitely do have a lot of people coming from Canada, a lot of people from Ontario, and it makes sense how you drive down here. And we also have a lot of people coming from Germany. There's a direct flight from Dusseldorf to Southwest Florida with Eurowings. It's an easy flight.
Nice. Easy flight, she says.
Yeah.
Easy 12-hour. How many hour flight is it?
Okay, it's maybe a bit long, but it's easy. You don't have to like change over a bunch and stuff.
And you don't have to clear customs in like Miami or Chicago or New York. You can kind of come in and do the whole thing right here, which is great. Now, so, we are in the middle of COVID, and travel has stopped to the US from both, Canada and Germany. What we're finding though is our Canadian friends and our Germans are wanting to maybe sell their places and then, get the exchange rate to go back, which is beneficial to them right now, right? Well as then maybe come a little bit later when they can, because we're not sure when these will be lifted, these travel constraints that we have right now. Elizabeth, talk a little bit about that, because exchange rate is to the benefit if you're selling, correct?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, it definitely is. And, it's also going to depend on when you bought, of course, but right now, as we know, it's a great time to sell. Inventory is low and people are looking to move to Southwest Florida. And if you're not sure when you can get back down here, it makes sense to sell and, find that dream property when you come back.
Exactly. Because we don't know what's going to happen in the future either, because interest rates are so low right now. It's driving. And people are really looking for privacy, a pool, and property, as said on by, I think CNBC said it. And at the end of the day, we have that. There is some vertical living, but even in our vertical living, it's not horrible. Coming from the Chicagoland, coming from a major city like Toronto, there's a lot of vertical living there. People are kind of packed into a small space. Here, we don't really necessarily find that. So, whether you're thinking about buying or selling, again, if you're, Elizabeth, you help a lot of folks that aren't from Canada or Germany, right? I mean, you don't have to be Canadian or German for Elizabeth to help you.
No, you don't.
Let's put it that way. But if you are, she really comes in with a nice wealth of information on lifestyle, on background, speaking the language. Now, Canadian, we know that you all speak English. All right, let's be a little cheeky on that. But Elizabeth, say something to our German fans that are watching.
Okay. Hallo, guten Tag. Ich spreche Deutsch und ruf mich gerne an.
Because as most Germans don't speak a lot of words, Elizabeth just didn't speak a lot of words. But keep in mind, she is married to a German that they are still speaking, I'm sure, German. I can't imagine he would let you get by without practicing your German.
No, yeah, we speak at home some. I mean, to be honest, in Germany, we probably spoke a lot more, but no, we still speak here. So yeah.
That's awesome. So, Elizabeth, talk a little bit about lifestyle, because you mentioned you love to play tennis.
Yeah.
You love to play tennis, and I know you love to play golf, and you're really great at both of them. So let's kind of weave into lifestyle. If you're looking to buy in this area, what things that you like to do that people would be looking for as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I think is really unique about Southwest Florida, or if you're looking to move to Florida, that maybe you don't have in Germany or in Ontario the same way that you have here, is this community living. And one of the things that I know one of our teammates coined, but I really love, is, really finding your community and then finding the home, because every community is slightly different and going to have a slightly different offering for what's going to work for you. And just the active lifestyle that this offers. So you can get communities with like resort style living. So you have a resort style pool and fitness and a spa and what have you. You can get golf communities. So you can get you can be in a really beautiful golf community where you can get a tee time anytime you want. You can get in a bundled golf community where everybody in there belongs. A lot of these communities will have very active social calendars with tons of events. I even know where my mother lives, they have, I think Canadian trivia night or something. And there's quite a few Canadians there, and I know a lot of them. But there's such an active lifestyle that I think that's really special, because you can. What I think is really special about Florida as well is this outdoor living. You can really, be outside 12 months a year, and I just can't say the same. I mean, I ski, but I didn't live somewhere where I could go skiing after work or something like that. I can go to the ocean for a quick swim after work. I can go play tennis after work, and I can do that 12 months a year. So I think that's really special. And if you're looking at these communities, one thing that's also different is we have different types of communities: gated, non-gated, with homeowners associations, without homeowners associations. And this would be new for a lot of people as well. But the idea that somebody is going to take care of a lot of things for you, such as your land and your lawn maintenance, I think, that's really nice.
It is nice when maybe perhaps you want that lock and leave lifestyle. You don't have to have a condo to get that lock and leave lifestyle. Your single family home can be taken care of and managed, which, by the way, many of our homeowners here are in a secondary or home ownership where we're not the primary home. Well, we have primary homeowners as well. It's interesting when I start to look at what you just described, Elizabeth, is really determining what you want to do first, then determine where you want to live and who you want to live here, and then the house. So do you want to be close to the beach? Do you want to walk on it every day? Do you want to be, part of a tennis community or a golf community? Do you want to boat in your backyard? Want to go to a marina? What kind of lifestyle do you want? And to start dreaming and thinking about that. And then let's find a community that you fit in, that you love, and then we can find that house. So your tribe and then your hut is what our co-member has coined for us, that I do love the way she says that. But it all begins with, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Again, if selling, now is a great time. I mean, there are buyers that want to have their piece of paradise here. And Elizabeth, wouldn't you agree that people in large cities and elsewhere actually have the choices now to whether they're going to go into an office or not?
That's changing.
Right? It's changing. I saw, I think it was Google said until mid to late 2021, their workforce isn't going to move back into their properties. With kids having options, if you have kids, that they don't have to actually be in school, you can virtually learn, which we're going down that path. All these buyers are moving into our market now. So if you've thought about selling, it is a phenomenal time. I'm like, don't wait a minute more. Whether you choose the Bartos Group or somebody else, of course, there's a lot of reasons to choose us, but it's time to sell, right, Elizabeth? Yeah. What do you think of that?
I definitely agree. And, I think thinking about the lifestyle you want going forward, I had talked to somebody who's been working remote for a while, since way before COVID. The entire company works remote, and that just works for them. And one of the things he said that he really loved was that after work, he just jumped on his boat. And it was like, okay, I'm in my evening now, I'm jumping on my boat. And that was the lifestyle I wanted. And I think that's pretty great. And, there are people really looking to buy. So if you've thought about selling, now's the time to do it.
Absolutely. Well, Elizabeth, I so appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for being a guest on Really Mary. We'll have to have you again. And to our folks that are watching, if you're out there looking for more information on Southwest Florida or to sell, Elizabeth, tell them how they can contact you.
Yes, you can call me at 239-572-1443 or email me at elizabeth@bartosgroup.com.
And remember, if your first language is German or Canadian, please call Elizabeth. She can speak the speak or talk the talk.
Yes, happy to speak German, happy to speak Canadian. It's all good.
Hey, just kidding. Until next time, I'm Mary Bartos with the Bartos Group of Premier Plus Realty, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Really, Mary. Ciao.